After a long day of crawling through a dungeon, your party's gonna need somewhere to sleep. Let's make some cozy miniature beds for Dungeons & Dragons. First, we're gonna cut the bed shapes out of some 1/2-inch thick XPS foam. I decided to make this one integral piece of foam, mostly because I don't have a hot wire cutter. So here you can see me scoring in between where I want the bed frame and the mattress. I then go in with a sharp snap blade and start to slowly bevel the mattress half of the piece of foam to give it a softer edge to contrast with the harder wood bed frame. I just take my time beveling it. I also added some texture to the wood frame part with a wire brush. I then went in with a fine grit sandpaper and really smoothed over the mattress. Here you can see I only did it on one half because the blankets are gonna cover the back half. I then took some more XPS foam, cut it into smaller pieces, and with my favorite foam safe super glue, glued them in place. Looking really good so far. Next, I did one of my favorite techniques, mixing water and PVA glue, cutting out a bunch of strips of different materials, including paper towels, ribbons, old socks, and t-shirts, dipping them into the water glue mixture, and just draping them over the foam. This is a great technique because it allows it to dry super hard but look like draped fabric. I then took a bunch of Mod Podge and black paint, slathered it over everything as a base coat. This helps seal everything in and makes the fabric really hard and in place. I then painted it up. This is where you can add a ton of personality. Maybe you have a PC that is a little messy, that has a messy, colorful bed. Maybe you have one that's super prim and proper. This is a lot of fun. You can add tons of details with acrylic paint markers or any other sort of paint medium. Like here, I'm adding stripes and little stitches. Finally, I add a bunch of washes to really add depth and a level of finish to these beds. I like to do a glossy kind of varnish on the wood parts to set it apart from the fabric. I then gave everything a light dry brush to make it look worn and really pull out all of those details. I'm super happy with how these came out. If you want to see how I made all of these in more detail, along with all the other set dressings and props and scatter you see in this Glamour Shot, click through to the full-length video. Consider subscribing if you found these tips helpful, and thanks for watching.